Good evening and welcome back to the shadows of Drakkenheim. With a 1-week hiatus for the Monster of the Week conclusion, we are back to our weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running the campaign as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm Wolfsbane, the human swashbuckler. And we're joined today by our good friends
Jill Denitis playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joe Gorman playing Wrath the Aasimar, Pact of the Tome, Warlock of the Great Old One.
Every time you three say and introduce your characters, I still hear your characters from the first campaign.
So do we. That's why we have.
That's why I have to write it down and read word for word.
Yeah. In any case, thank you for joining us once again. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, please check us out on YouTube, where Kelly and I post new videos every week covering everything Dungeons & Dragons, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. You can check that all out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch all of the previous episodes on our YouTube channel as well.
And you can find them on podcast platforms on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play as well for download. And we have all of Season 1 now on podcast formats, and we are caught up. The new episodes, when they launch on YouTube on Fridays, launch concurrently on those podcast formats, so you can follow it in whichever medium you want.
Of course, don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring stores, where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts, including some new ones like the Dusk Wardens and Way Bigger Than Ducks. And of course, all your favorites from Season 1 as well. So take a look, bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
With that, let us return to the shadows.
Drakkenheim is no more. For 15 years, we foolishly believed the madness and mayhem of that crumbling city was confined to the ruins. We were wrong. Insidious horrors have crept out of the shadow of Drakkenheim into a world unprepared for such nightmares. Tales of strange magic, swirling haze, and unspeakable terrors echo through the villages and towns surrounding that accursed place. Now, the Dusk Wardens, a new band of heroes, are tasked with driving out the seeping tendrils of the spreading darkness before it takes root.
Welcome back to the shadows of Drakkenheim. Far from the smoking ruins of that cursed city, long leagues away to the east, we are still in the lands of Westamar, but in the wetlands, in the shadow of the mountains bordering between Illyria and Westamar. Here, our heroes have come to the small village of Schafberg, a town that is in the grip of some sinister force. Who or what that force may be, none can say yet. But with the help of the Mage of the Amethyst Academy, Linus, as well as 2 elven allies, our heroes have found some force is taking control or possessing or somehow bending the villagers to its will as they continue to kidnap more of the townsfolk, leading them into the depths of the swamp for some nefarious purpose. Even, it turns out, the Flame Keepers, the bastions and keepers of the small town of Schafberg, have fallen under this sinister sway, and our heroes, in infiltrating the chapel of the Sacred Fire, found them as well under the influence of this force, masquerading as prisoners and members of this band of possessed villagers, if we can call it even that, our heroes have tracked the latest victims out into the swamps and freed them. Now, with one still captive, Donovan, a former member of the militia, and many others freed, and these strange lizard-like creatures slain, our heroes have returned the arcane components that Linus needs to cast his spells, and met with the elves deep on the edges of the swamp. There, they will plan their next move, whether they will continue deeper into the swamp to this strange hut where a being that they've only known as him dwells, and further deeper beyond the charted maps that they have found in the village into some swamp sanctuary where who knows what lurks there. What will you do?
Wilhelm's sitting by the edge of the road, taking his boots off and
There is
pouring
no
water. Well,
There's no it's a
edge of the
in the
swampy
water.
path.
Yeah.
I'm pouring water out of my boots. That's all I got to contribute. No, nobody else.
We're
This-
watching you intently.
Out
I'm
of
watching you.
all the uncomfortable things to experience in the world, I'd have to say that wet feet is one of the top worst.
You know, you're probably gonna have to do that a few more times.
I
in
know.
Swamp.
The swampy wetlands stretch onward for miles and miles. Here and there, eventually they connect. These wetlands collect the watershed of the mountains along the border, and eventually form up into great rivers that deposit into the Duran River itself. So throughout the wetlands in the inner parts, there are many streams and rivers that all form an intricate web of interconnected rivers. In between, fields of marsh, tall, reedy grasses, and mud are broken up only by fields of rocks and the occasional grouping of swampy trees in the forest, hanging weeping willows that their long strands of leaves drinking in the water here and there. Once in a while, you can see that there are ponds, the remnants of a castle that fell over and sunk into the swamp, upon which another castle was built, and it also fell into the swamp. And even the third castle fell over and sunk into the swamp. Very little is built out here. There are few trappings of civilization beyond the muddy pathway that the villagers who have been led into the swamps have tracked.
You'd think after 2 castles they would have learned the lesson not to build in this land.
It could have taken centuries for the swamp to take back its rightful place. Or it could be this nefarious. Maybe it's time. Maybe we're fighting time.
What?
What?
Raph, are you?
Having a moment.
He's communing with...
Yes, Bruce, we must kill time.
Bruce reminds us, all mortals lose their battle against time. Only through Bruce can you be saved.
Yes, Bruce, this is why you are the one way.
He's talking to his cat again. What's our plan, exactly?
Well, I mean, we knew that those other lizard folk things were headed here to that cabin in the woods, and we were going to meet them. Well, the captain was going to meet them.
I sent them off ahead to scout. They will realize the issue and report back to find their comrades killed or slain.
I think at this point we've saved the prisoners. We have killed a few of these lizard creatures, and we have Donovan here tied up. I think at this point the ruse is up. I don't think we need to be the constable or pose as any other person anymore. I say we go marching up to that cabin and take the rest of them out. These lizard folk, they're abominations, and they tried to kill us. They're guiding these villagers to wherever. I say that maybe we could also keep Donovan with us, and if he sees the real us, we just keep him tied up and force him to lead us to him.
He might also have inner workings of the system. Maybe I can once more, if needed, sway his mind to tell us any key moments that are upon this path before we get to whatever this creature or possession is.
Have you ever mind controlled me?
No.
No,
Very
Of
well.
course not. I would never let him do that to you.
Wait. Now I'm second guessing everything that's happened. Anyway. Anybody else have anything to contribute to this plan, or am I just...
That is a solid plan.
I think as long as we can kill all them lizard folk before they realize what we're up to and go alert anyone else. So I think it's not my strong suit, but a stealth mission may be the best one here.
It is quite a few days' ride, or walk, or however we travel. And it might be worth noting that after that cabin, we do not know the way.
This is why Donovan will still be useful. We'll need to use him to find the way.
We could
Exactly.
also upgrade our captive in the house if it is filled with those who are not yet succumbed to the madness.
Yes.
Which house?
The cabin in the woods.
There also could be other prisoners we could end up freeing.
Free any prisoners. Keep anybody who might be able to help lead the way, as long as we don't end up with too many captives. I don't think we can watch more than maybe one or two. And slay any lizard folk.
Now, question. If we come across any more of the villagers that might be out there, how are we going to tell if they've been mind changed or not?
We first can consult the list.
But if we're going out into the swamp, what if the list is out of date and there are newcomers being sent back from the swamp? It seems like we got the most recent group. And the group before that, it seems, was already back. So,
We can make a good assumption there.
unless there are stragglers that are... the list seems like a good starting point.
Do you also have some of that poison?
Yes.
It would be worth noting, even after our handling of the captain and, or pardon, the constable, and his lackeys and that of the militia, if we can subdue any others that may have succumbed to this mind control, there is still opportunity to turn them back. And it could be of great asset to not only the community, but to our good names.
And that is why if we come across any villagers, we subdue them, tie them up, and perhaps even leave them in that cabin.
Yes.
Until we figure out what the answer is to this mystery that we're
Agreed.
trying to solve.
Up until the point where if we are in a corner and it is our only choice, then we must take our own lives before theirs.
Rule number 35, you always have a choice.
All right.
And I am prepared to make that choice.
Linus speaks up. Well, now I've heard back from the academy. I sent them a message with my magic. Oh, it feels good to cast a spell again, I tell you that. They say there ain't no doubt that some nefariousness, maybe some monster or creature is up to no good round here. That you should be aware of what it might be, and whatever it might be, if it be a mage or a mortal, that you capture it and bring it to justice for the academy. But if it be a beastie, then we bring its body back, so that it may be studied by the academy.
So if it's a spellcaster, you want us to bring it back alive. If it's a creature, kill it.
If it is a creature, and if it can be captured, then, well, maybe it's worth it. But take no risk to your lives.
Do we still have that wagon that we brought back with the people?
Yeah.
It's going to be a long journey through the swamp, and if we have to end up capturing whatever this thing is and bringing it back, we might want a wagon. It's going to be hard to bring it there, but could be useful.
But don't these folks need to travel a little bit further than town? They might need it to go with them to take all the youngins.
True.
There's something else. You said that you'd use some magic to examine that one, didn't you?
Yes, Linus.
Well, if some magic's gone and addled his brain in a permanent way, we must be careful. For whatever creature or spellcaster's done this to him, you might be able to stop him, kill him. But if the brain's been modified, it just means that another who knows the ways could simply come back in and take their place.
Linus, you've opened up a whole new possibility.
Meaning that if these folks are under the sway of some being, you could kill that being, but another being could just come right along unless we find some way to reverse whatever's been done to these people.
It's much more than just killing this one thing. We gotta figure out what magic is really behind it.
Oh, it's a good thing we have a spellcaster amongst us. Wrath, are you up to the challenge of
Killing
discerning?
a bunch of villagers?
No.
No, Wrath.
Oh.
Dial back.
Oh.
We're rewind.
Thus, whatever you do, we must find however this creature or being has been taken in and getting in their heads. It might be the only way we can reverse whatever's damage has been done.
So alive is the preferred way, I guess.
Alive is preferred. If we can make any determinations about the sort of magic at work here, that might be useful.
Well, maybe the Academy can begin to research this anomaly. They might have some experience with this type of magic or its history.
Well, there's one other thing. I hesitate to say it, but it might be worth mentioning.
Please.
Might be worthwhile sending some of the dead back to the Academy.
You'll be happy to know that they are arranged in your house. This should
Wait, what?
This should make for easy gathering.
Well, you're just thinking 2 steps ahead, ain't you?
We always are. Right, Bruce?
2 steps ahead. Such poor planning. Much further than that.
Yes, Bruce. We can do better. Yes, Linus. You'll find that you have some company over, and we have left many of the deceased villagers in your household. For once, it was to hide them, but they could prove as a valuable asset to understand more about what's happening here.
Now, I ain't much good in a fight myself anymore. I'm too old. I remember the old wars when I was on the front lines whipping them fireballs and blowing up 30 people at a time. Good fun, that. But I could offer you some of my spells if it be a help to you while you're on your way.
I wouldn't know where to start with casting them.
You wouldn't have to do that. I'd cast it on you.
Well, any support that you can provide before we head off on this mission for the Academy would be mighty fine.
Is there any sort of spells that you are familiar with, Linus, that you would normally give to, let's say, warriors of the front line or adventurers on a before a battle?
Well, none that would be able to make you last too long, but I could make you invisible, or give you, well, about all three of you, I could make you all invisible for about an hour, or I could make two of you fly.
Well, the thing is, we may not need the invisibility or the flying until we're a good couple days' journey into the swamp.
That's true. I could go with you.
I'm uneasy bringing Linus. Perhaps he could be useful
There
if
is
he can keep up.
there is an opportunity, Linus. How long did Donovan say would be the trek?
Upwards of 3 hours.
To get to the cabin?
Yep.
What could be helpful is, by the time we reach the cabin, we may require some additional assistance. Could you send us in approximately 6 hours' time, and then again in approximately 2 days, so that we can keep you updated while we are away?
Very well.
Of course, any healing that you may provide that we can take on with us, if you have it.
What do you guys have right now for potions and other things like that?
1 greater healing and 4 healing.
Oh, you're good.
I just almost die, and then...
I only have 2 healing potions. I have no greater healing. I used it after I lit on fire.
The elves Lorwyn and Lorwyn speaks up, and she produces a crystalline vial that glows quite softly. And she says, "This is the light of the goddess of the moon. You may drink this to take upon her blessings."
What kind of blessings?
It is a potion of heroism.
Ooh.
Yoink.
It grants whoever drinks it the benefits of the bless spell for 1 minute.
Oh.
So plus
Yeah.
D4 to attack rolls and saving throws.
You take that.
That is all I can have to offer you. Of course, we and Linus will travel back with the villagers, but if you do need help or healing, I can provide that.
After our rest, I feel very strong.
You guys took a long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strangely, the puncture wounds in my chest have all but healed, thanks to a good night's sleep.
I can maybe I can make a sort of signal or send a messenger once we've secured the cabin. There may be other prisoners that you either need to tend to or take care of, but there also may be those that we have subdued that you must also use for interrogation or investigation. We will leave them at the cabin so we can continue our journey.
Very true. If there's more prisoners or others that have been taken, there's more than a few families that I can think of that haven't been seen in a few weeks.
We will send a signal to let you know.
Well then, sounds like this is where we part ways for now.
Thank you, Linus.
And hopefully we can see you soon and in good health, so that way we can continue our journey.
With that, Linus, Lorwyn, Dorian, and the rest of the villagers that you saved, they pack their things up, they take one of the wagons, and they begin traveling back towards one of the smaller farmsteads outside Shaftburg itself. And you three head through the swamps in the other direction.
About 1 minute in, my boots are soaked again.
We should have asked Linus for some weatherproofing.
The
Not dressed for swamp travel.
travel through this part of the swamp does you make a decent pace heading through the sucking mud and wet grass. For the most part, none of you sink deep into the mud, but all of you come away with a couple bug bites and about splatters of mud all the way up to the waist and thoroughly soaked all the way through your clothes.
I'm constantly, like, every time we stop, I'm like, prestidigitate.
I appreciate
Every time.
I do appreciate it.
It's a cold, murky day, and a low mist hangs over the moors, but you can still see the tops of trees poking up over top here and there. The swampland is otherwise largely desolate, aside from the trees, rocky escarpments that are here and there. Once in a while, you'll find these almost islands of solid ground that haven't entirely sunk into the mud, that makes the travel a little bit easier for a few hours. Once in a while, the path that you're following, it looks like some boards have been laid down to provide a little bit of a foothold, or bits of stone have been stacked up to actually make the travel a little bit easier. And in fact, after a few hours of travel, these begin to increase in number. So there are bits of the bottom of a wagon, or the remnants of a boat, or some boards and planks, or even just stumps that have been lashed together with bits of rope and rusted through nails to provide a more stable footpath. Because as you go out further in this footpath, the presence of this constructed footpath increases. The swamp gets muddier and murkier until in certain parts, it's not just mud, but several feet of water. And so there's bits of there's areas of rock and solid ground where these makeshift bridges have been made so that you can traverse. And even in some places, lanterns and torches have been hung, but none of them are lit at this point. It seems that at one point, perhaps there might have been a series of lanterns that lit this way. And once in a while, you can see refractions of light, where instead of lanterns that have been hung, bits of glass or mirrors that catch what little light there is kind of allow you to see the pathway continuing onward.
And do we have Donovan with us?
Yes. Although you would either need to be conscious and bound, or you'd need to be carrying him.
I can carry him. And every once in a while when I feel him stir, I just kind of like whack him on the back of the head again, and I'm like, he's fine.
Okay.
He's good.
Give me a Constitution saving throw, because you are carrying Donovan through the swamp.
6.
Okay. Carrying Donovan through the swamp on your own is actually pretty exhausting, so you're going to have 1 level of exhaustion.
Do you need any help back there, Rudy?
I do a little bit, actually.
I want to send Bruce ahead to scout.
Okay.
Approximately 100 feet. 90.
The visibility today, with the low fog, you've got about clear visibility of about 300 feet in front of you. So you do have a clear view ahead. That's when about the mist and the uneven ground of the swamp makes it hard to see exactly what's next. But Bruce scouting ahead keeps the pathway clear, and you are able to navigate until you come to what it starts to open up, that the pathway that you follow is now no longer following just a random bit of path, but a stream starts up, and it continues to get wider and wider and wider as you follow it, until you're almost at the edge of a very large swampy lake that is in this area, and the pathway follows along the banks of the lake. Opening up the ground a little bit further, the mist clears a bit over the lake, And you can see on the opposite side of the lake, there is a small building perched on a rocky escarpment along the lake. The top of the building is dilapidated. The entire roof is almost collapsed on the second level. It's a squat stone and wooden hut. And what you notice almost before you see that is that there is a large campfire and a plume of smoke coming up from the fire itself. And coming off of the escarpment, these planks and wooden platforms have been built out onto a small pier upon which is moored a very large barge that has several oars, and you can see it looks like there are a few humans, perhaps townsfolk. Most of them are clad in bits of arming doublets, maybe a bit of chainmail here and there. Most of them look like they're armed. A few of them are loading some supplies onto the barge, and perhaps even there's no people on it, but the barge would be large enough that the group of people that you brought could all comfortably fit on it.
Well, this must be the cabin in the woods. Are we across the lake from it?
Yes.
So, like, we would have to...
Approximately, say, 500 feet.
So we would have to go across the water to get to it?
No. Where the stream that you've been following empties into this lake, and then the lake opens up about a circumference of about 500 feet, and you can see this building across the lake.
I'm worried that there's more town folk here than I thought there would be.
Looking across, you can see that the lake then empties into another river that flows out. So there's a few smaller streams that are all emptying and collecting into this lake, and then they all drain out onto another river that is heading to the northeast.
Well, does anybody have any ideas how to get to the cabin?
I mean, you should be able to walk around this part of the lake if we go through the river, right?
True.
We may want to go the opposite way. They may be looking for or expecting travelers, and now that we are late, it could raise suspicion.
It is about, as you get close, it's about noon now. And you can make out on the piers and along the escarpment, amongst the humans, there is another larger figure. It's gigantic. Probably about 12 feet tall. Hunched over, though, with deep, mottled green skin and a massive pot belly. There are knobs of flesh hanging off of it and long, scraggly black hair and this long, hooked nose. It's carrying a prod, like a spear of some kind, and seems to be barking orders to the men.
Is it a language we recognize? Can we hear it, I should say?
From this distance, it's a little indistinct. It sounds like common. This creature is a troll.
Do we know what a troll is?
Yes.
That's one.
That creature's a troll.
I know what a
big
troll
guy.
is.
Oh. Do we notice if we recognize any of the humans?
From this distance, no.
Nothing? Okay.
Well, friends, never killed a troll before, but it seems like a good day to do so.
if you can get to it first before I can.
Now there's the Rudy I know.
They have a troll.
Can those beams that you shoot out of your hands, can they subdue targets without exploding them?
No.
Maybe you should be on troll duty.
We I suggest using some of that poison. We could maybe take down some of their key targets first.
Looking across, you see the group of... Well, actually, first, all of you can roll maybe 6.
5.
4.
4.
Okay. As the noon sun comes up overhead, the group of humans stop their work and come up around the campfire and begin to take their lunch. The troll sits down in the remnants of a wagon that look like it's been rebuilt into a rocking chair, and the troll takes out a banjo and starts strumming.
Interesting.
If there was ever an opportunity to get the drop on them, this is it.
It's true.
It's lunchtime.
How is the music?
Make a perception check.
22.
It's an old folky blues song. It's pretty decent, actually.
Oh, I know this tune.
Not bad.
The troll is a pretty decent musician.
I mean, could we convince him to go on his life's journey of becoming a bard?
Perhaps. But then again, a swift rapier to the throat might be just as good for him as trying to convince him of anything.
Let's end his singing career.
All right. Shall we approach with stealth?
Yes.
As much as possible.
If we are able to take down as many as you can with the poison, that would be, I think, in the best interest. We could use it to interrogate and find out where that barge heads off next.
Do you want me to focus on subduing the villagers while you two take on the troll?
I'd say yeah. That'd
Yes.
be a good idea.
How many do I see? Well, I guess I only need one of these.
There are 4 men taking lunch with the troll, and there are another 4 sitting on the edge of the pier taking lunch together.
And they're wearing bits of armor and they have weapons?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. They all of them look to be carrying a crossbow or a bow of some kind. Several of them have shields, and the rest have a mixture of hand weapons. All of them carry a mixture of hand weapons, either swords or axes of some kind. They're all lightly armored as well.
While they're taking their lunch, do they place the weapons just next to them, or do they place them...
Some of them have their weapons in scabbards, but yes, all of them have their weapons within arm's reach.
All right. Let's see here. Does any of them look to be in a higher command position than the others, or do they all look pretty much the same? Other than the troll,
The
obviously.
troll's the one giving the orders.
Yeah, but none of the humans look...
It yells out,
Now I reckon that's some of the finest fish I've had in weeks. What do you think?
What if you approach to the house first? What if we take out the house quickly? We can use it as our vantage point while they're outside.
I was also thinking something along the lines of getting underneath that dock.
Both excellent ideas. What do you think?
I could see if I could sneak into the house. Are you thinking there might be people in there as well?
And we could deal with them first.
Well, we know that probably the lizard guys are in there, because they don't come out during the daytime, so they're probably resting. So I'd be cautious about taking on the house too early.
Well, it is noon. Maybe hitting the lizard folk while they're sleeping is the right move, taking them out.
But can we do that
quietly.
without drawing attention?
That's the real trick, isn't it?
Because then we're ambushed inside a smaller place inside the house.
What if? what if we do all of those plans?
Okay.
Take on our own sections.
Rudy, you head for the docks. I'll head for the house. And Raph?
I'll start a fire.
What are you setting on fire? The troll?
The troll.
I'm going to come with you and take on the disguise of someone in the house. That way when I go outside.
Clever. All right.
And Rudy, wait for our signal. It'll be loud.
And Rudy,
All right.
if you see an opportunity, take it.
We'll be keeping a close eye.
If things go sideways inside the house and we aren't as quiet as we want to be, we need you to cause a ruckus outside.
Me and my family, we all know how to cause a good ruckus, so I'll do my best.
I know you will. And remember, I'll go with minimal casualties on the human side. I don't expect everybody will make it out of here alive. If somebody's running at you with a sword, do what you must. But there are alternatives to chopping off heads, Rudy.
I'll do my best to knock them out rather than straight up out them.
I'll understand if you have to chop a head or two.
Okay, so a group of the men have gathered on the pier, and another group have gathered around the campfire where they are all eating fish with the troll. Rudy, you're coming up from down here at the side.
Mm-hmm.
You two are approaching from the opposite direction. So all of you, to get to this position, you're all going to need to circle circle clockwise around the lake.
Also, before we leave the spot where we were talking about, I tie up Donovan to a tree and make sure he's knocked out good.
Okay. As you move across and approach, all of you can give me a stealth check, please.
Okay. Oh. 18.
28.
21.
Okay. So all of you kind of grab some of the mud from the swamp and smear it on your faces.
I prestidigitate,
the ghillie suit.
prestidigitate the fill.
Crawl up.
I'm humming a theme song of sorts.
Shh, stop it.
Oh, sorry. Stealthy.
It doesn't make you quieter.
do 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 do.
As we approach, Raph, do you have, can you make sounds?
So you all make your way to your positions without alerting any of the group. As the two of you get close, you can now see the troll rocking back and forth with his back turned to you. Whether it's a he or a her or whatever, it's very hard to tell, in fact. But what you can see is that this troll, the back of this troll's head is inflamed and bulging. There's veins running up the side of its head, and its hair is falling out in patches and places. It reminds you of what happened to the Flamekeeper.
If you can direct their attention away from us, then that might give us a chance. There's some rocks next to us here that we might be able to take to get onto the second story of this house and inside over the broken wall.
Yeah, it's the tumbling ruin of the house, right? So it looks like the building collapsed along this side, and while the lower level has remained intact, the upper level is all just sort of shorn off and fallen down timbers and rocks and rubble.
Glancing at the rubble, can I see kind of what looks like a sturdy footpath to climb up it?
Yes, the challenge is keeping your footing and not creating noise in the process.
I'm gonna follow behind Wilhelm.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use minor illusion, and I want to do it that if we make any sort of sudden movement or slip, I want to cast in the opposite direction, like a loud squawking from like a native bird,
Like an owl.
like a wah!
Like a woodpecker.
Yeah,
Okay.
like a really loud.
Yeah, most of the there's fowl and birds in this area. There's bird calls all throughout. So you could certainly create a big squawk. It's not going to come from too far away, but you could probably make it emanate from one of the trees that's
Exactly.
nearby. Yeah.
Like opposite us, across
Yeah.
the campfire.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, are you ready?
Ready.
And we're going to go up. We're going to jump that wall.
Go.
And I run
And I'm with you.
and I
We're moving.
parkour over this
Okay.
over this wall.
Oh yeah, you invented parkour.
Yes,
Alright.
I invented parkour.
So I need both of you to make 2 checks for me. An acrobatics or athletics, your choice, and a stealth check. If you want to, though, you can take disadvantage on one to gain advantage on the other.
I mean, I'm going to just. I have expertise in both of those abilities.
I'm not very good. I'm okay. I'm okay.
This is where I'm a Viking. What?
I'm just gonna take it naturally.
What are you going to roll first?
25 for acrobatics.
Okay.
I'll do my acrobatics as well. Let's see how cool I am. I get an 11.
Okay. You both Wilhelm clambers up effortlessly. But see, that kind of happens. The tumble. So you tumble and slip a little bit, Wrath, as you try to clamber up. So I'm gonna have you make your stealth check with disadvantage.
Okay. Oh baby.
I get a 16 on stealth.
Okay.
I get an 11.
On stealth. Okay. You clamber up, and as you do so, Wrath, you get to the top, and one of the loose stones goes tumbling down and hits on one of the loose logs with a loud thunk.
Ah! And then I go squawk.
Okay.
I try to squawk.
And half of them turn towards the squawk, and the other half turn towards the thunk.
Uh-oh.
But give me a deception check with your minor illusion.
Ooh. Squawk. 20.
20. Okay. The troll and the 3 of the men turn towards the sound of your squawking, but one of the men turns towards the thunk. Everyone in the camp goes silent, and the troll says loudly,
Well, I reckon that sounded like a goose. I love goose. I'm entitled to goose. Go over there and get it.
and the other man said, I think I might have heard a possum or something out over there. And so 3 of the men head towards the tree where they think they heard a goose, and the other starts heading towards the wreckage. The troll goes back to his strumming.
Did Wrath make it over the wall?
He did make it over the wall, but one of the other men is now his attention has been garnered. Meanwhile, Rudy, what are you doing?
So, tell me if this is possible. You know how you can use like reeds to like breathe underwater? So I want to like
I already love it.
Oh, man.
sneak in the water and like make my way over to like underneath the dock. But I actually want to take off my red hood so that way they're not seeing it in the water as I'm going by. And I leave that kind of in the spot
So
that I'm
you
in.
take the reed and you swim under the water.
I learned this in my military days to get over
And
around
what I will have you
lakes
do,
and swamps.
because you were swimming and holding your breath, I'm going to have you make an athletics check. to swim without disturbing the water.
25.
You are exhausted though, so you got to roll
Oh,
with
sorry,
disadvantage.
23. No,
Okay.
yeah, 23.
So you're able to control
Nice.
your swimming well enough with the reed that I'm not going to have you make a stealth check.
Okay.
So you can swim to wherever you want to get to.
Okay, right underneath the dock.
Okay, you are underneath the dock.
Under the edge.
Okay.
yeah.
So because you're underwater, you actually don't really hear much of what just went down above. But
You're under.
you are able to surface underneath the dock as you hear this squawking noise. What do you want to do next?
I'm gonna wait until I hear for the signal.
What was the signal? You guys didn't discuss that at all.
Something-
It's just about being
Something
loud. It's just going to be loud.
Well,
You'll
here's
know.
some loud squawking.
The goose wasn't loud enough. I'm like, if they really wanted to be loud, they'd really make a good show of it.
Okay. So, back to the campsite. The two of you have scrambled to the top level, where there are some overturned and ruined furniture, and the moss-covered floor here has become the de facto roof of this building. You can see small cracks through the floorboards below. To the room underneath is damp but mostly dry. There is a trap door that leads down to the lower level into the house properly, which has been closed from this side. It looks like it is opened occasionally though. There's some footprints, some empty bottles, and enough signs indicate that people use this as a watch point.
As the rock lands on the wood, and with the squawk goes off, and you clamber over the wall, I'm gonna grab you and push both of us up against that wall and like cover your mouth, and I'm just going to take a quick little peek over the wall very quickly,
Okay.
just to see where the man is.
All right, the man has found the bit of masonry that has hit one of the logs down over here, and he's looking up, and he's peering sort of over the rubble. It says, "Looks like someone." He's kind of pondering.
I'm going to whisper in Wilhelm's mind. Shoot him with poison.
I apply some poison to a crossbow bolt.
Okay. The man looks around and he's stretching out his neck like he's trying to look up and see if there's anybody up there, but he doesn't see you. Because you're hidden behind the wall. So he stops and deciding like that he doesn't want to climb up that himself, he moves towards the door of the building. He opens the door and he walks in the building.
Wait,
Yeah.
is the door? Where is the door?
It's right around the front.
Right around the. So as he's walking towards the front, is the other group all over by that tree?
They are, and they're looking for the goose, and they're not finding it.
As he comes right to the door, can I quickly pop over and try to shoot him
As he's at the door.
as he's at the door?
Okay. Roll for initiative then, all of you. Yep.
I don't know if this matters on initiative, right?
No. Shouldn't.
I got a 22.
22 for Wilhelm. Wrath.
15.
Okay. Rudy.
21.
Okay. You guys have the element of surprise. And so, but Rudy, because you're waiting for a signal, unless they signal you in some way, You might not be aware that this is going on because really this is just Wilhelm that's acting in surprise. So we're going to have Wilhelm take this shot, and then we'll go back into the initiative order.
All right, so as he's approaching the front door, I make sure that everybody else is facing away.
Okay.
And then I pop over and
shoot him in the top of the head. Okay. Take the shot. Because you're directly above him, I will give you advantage on the shot.
Perfect. You are also...
I'm going to give myself a luck point there. Because that was a terrible advantage roll.
What did you get?
12.
You miss. So you turn up, and the bolt lands right between the man's feet. Like it sails right across his nose and whiffs the front of his jerkin and hits right between his feet, and he gasps.
I quickly take another shot. Do I still have advantage, or is the advantage gone? No.
Yeah.
There we go. 24.
That's a hit.
All right. 7 damage.
Okay.
And that's with the poison. Or I guess the poison dart is the one that I fired into the ground.
Need to poison all those darts for now.
That would use all my poison. So when I hit him, oh god, this is going bad. I'm gonna actually jump over the roof, land behind him, and cup his mouth and pull my dagger out and put it up to his.
You don't have enough actions to do that.
Can I drop behind him and?
You could leap down, but because you've used your actions and bonus action, you'd just be doing a raw leap. But that's the surprise round, so you've now got a whole turn to decide what you want to do. But now, But as the bolt sits down and the man gasps, and then the other bolt hits him in the top, and he remarkably survives. Like, I'm imagining it ricochets off the top of his skull. So, like, there's a piece of bone that fragments out and this bolt flies off.
Did it hurt?
And he screams.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Perfect.
I pop back and I look at Wrath and I go, it didn't work.
Okay. Wilhelm, it is your turn again. It's the surprise. Surprise is over.
I now leap over the wall, drop down behind him, and I'm going to stab my rapier through his shoulder. Okay. And I'm going to try to... My goal here is he's standing right at the door, right?
Yes.
Is the door open?
He was reaching out to open it.
I'm going to try to push him, like stab him and push him through the door so that we go inside the building. I'm going to use another luck point, and I'm going to roll a
That
different...
is like the perfect... Those dice have treated you well.
All right, there we go. I got 26.
That's a hit.
All right. I'm going to... I have to mark down 2 luck points.
Those are great. That was great.
I'm not doing well at all.
Burning through your luck.
All right, I just dropped a dice. I'm really clumsy today, guys.
Are you attacking this guy lethally?
Non-lethally.
Okay. You're non-lethally stabbing him in the back.
In the shoulder. Through the shoulder.
Even the leg.
I would actually imagine if you got a rapier, the thing to do if you wanted to sneak attack someone and knock them out would be to punch them with the pommel in the back of the... Like, that would actually... That could give you brain damage, but I mean, you're not going to be dead.
Yeah.
I do 11 damage.
Okay, he is out. He drops like a rock.
I grab him, and I'm going to try to, like, slide into the house before anybody turns around to notice.
It's past the... People have noticed. He screamed.
And they've already turned and they see me?
They're in the process of turning, yeah. But you can still slide into the house and slam the door shut.
Yeah.
All right, you do that. You barge into the house, slam the door shut. You see in the house there are several bunk beds, but two in all. small table, some supplies, and there's the ladder leading up to the trapdoor. But then there's another, and there's a ladder leading up to the trapdoor. But this level that's it. There's nothing below.
I press myself against the door and await.
Yeah, there's no one in this room. All right, Rudy, it's your turn.
So I was at the edge of the dock.
Do you want to move yourself into the house
Yeah.
there, Kelly?
Yeah.
I'm gonna move myself where
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I'm like underneath the dock, and I hear this like scream. And what I want to do is I want to pop out of the water with my axes, and there's two guys on the edge, and my idea is that I hit them, but I want to pull them back with me into
Sweep
the
knee.
water.
Okay.
Ooh.
Woo!
Okay, are you going for their leg in a vicious fashion or in a, like, hook them with your axes and pull them in?
Hook them and pull them in.
Okay, so it's going to be a shove.
Okay.
Then. So you're not going to... So roll to hit, and then we'll do athletics checks.
Is that like a
Yeah,
like a
so
battle axe?
basically you're shoving both of them. Yeah.
26 for one,
Yep.
and 21 for the other.
Okay, make two athletics checks.
With disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so 17 for one and 11 for the other.
Incidentally, my high roll and my low roll still lose. So you hook them both by basically the ankle. Pull them. They slam their heads against the end of the pier as they fall in. So I'm going to have both of them take d6 points of damage. And they land prone in the water beside you.
Okay. So that's my action, I guess?
That was your action.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
So you can bonus action because you're still dual wielding if you want to chop one of them.
yes. I am going to do that. Battle axe. For 20.
That's a hit.
For 6 damage.
Okay. He's bloodied, and there's like a thick cloud of blood that is pluming out in the water. But
I mean, he's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet.
Oh, you're a monster.
Okay. The troll stands up, puts his banjo down gently, and says at the door,
I don't like it when people come calling and just try to be rude about it. You want to talk, you just gotta knock.
and he walks up to the door and he pulls the door open.
I was leaning against it, hoping that it opened the other way, and hoping I would stop him. But then when it opens, I kind of just almost tumble out into his arms.
He reaches out with his first attack. He's going to grab you. He gets a 24 to hit. So we're going to make opposed athletics checks.
Oh, good.
You can also use acrobatics.
Oh, thank you. That means 16.
I get a 23.
He
grabs you. He pulls you out the front of the door, and he throws you out onto the escarpment.
Uh-oh.
And, yeah, and you can make a dexterity saving throw to not land prone.
I get a 21.
Okay, so you land, you manage to, as he throws you, you kind of roll
And then
and pick yourself up.
He says, all right, let me get a good look at you. Ugly, aren't you? Hate them mustaches. You look like a big fur caterpillar growing on top of your lip.
Thank you,
I like
sir.
eating caterpillars.
I heard your banjo playing. It was excellent.
Why, thank you. If you want to, you can listen to it at dinner time.
And he comes up, takes his claw, and he slaps you in the side of the face.
Sir?
Getting a 20 to hit with his claw
Oh, yeah.
for 14 slashing damage. and then he pulls you close and tries to bite you, getting a 13 to hit.
The 13 misses, and I'm going to use... Is it Uncanny Dodge? Yes. Yep. Uncanny Dodge. What was the first attack? It did 14?
Yep. And Wrath, we're over to you.
I peek over the edge. That's the signal. Perfect. How far away are the other three?
The other three are about 40, 50 feet away.
And they know.
Yeah, they've dropped the search for the goose, and they are coming back to deal with this
The
situation.
goose is saved.
So I'm going to cast Hex on the troll.
Okay.
Bruce comes out of the woodwork. And then I'm going to Eldritch Blast him in the back.
Okay.
I'm going to choose Strength as his ability.
Who are you
score.
hexing?
The troll.
Okay.
And I'm going to take some shots.
At the troll.
Yeah. So first shot is a 17.
That's a hit.
Part 18, but and then the second shot is a 27.
Both hit.
And the hex counts on both, right?
Yep.
Uh, 29 damage in total.
Okay. Nice. He turns around and he looks back up at you.
Oh, that's where your friend is. Think there's one more of you out there. Looks like we got nice supper tonight.
Anything else, Raph?
I slink back. I'm just like,
Cool. You slink back behind the wall?
yes.
Okay. That'll give you +2 to your AC.
Oh, I will accept that.
Cool. The others that are the group of men that were searching for the goose take out their crossbow. 2 of them take out their crossbows and they fire at you, Wrath.
Hello.
Getting a 15 and an 8 to hit.
The 15 hits.
Okay, the crossbow
As I'm slinking back down.
hits you for 6 points of piercing damage. One of the other ones takes out his shield and his axe, and he comes up behind Wilhelm, and makes 2 attacks with the axe, getting a 15 and a 9 to hit.
One of them hits.
Okay, that will be 8 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
Seeing their 2 friends pulled into the water, the other 2 rise to their feet, and they attack you, Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
The highest is a 13 from the first one.
Nope.
And then a 19 and a 23 from the other.
Okay, I take them.
For a total of 15 points of damage from the 2 hits. So the bleeding man gets up, takes out his short sword, and just stabs twice back into you, uttering a curse word as he does so. The other 2 men come from the end of the pier. They stand at the end of the pier, and they take out their crossbows, and they fire them down at you, Rudy. One getting a 9, the other getting a 23 to hit,
Mm-hmm.
for 7 more points of damage.
Ow!
We go back to the top with Wilhelm.
Am I allowed to just verbally yell one sentence?
Yeah.
Do you have fire?
In your mind? No.
Damn it. Okay.
Do I hear that?
Yeah.
I have fire!
Rudy, I'll need your help, and I'm going to pull. I have a oil flask, and I'm going to run up onto the back of the troll as he turns to look at Wrath, and I'm going to smash the flask on his back.
Cool.
Nice.
Make a improvised attack with your dexterity, with just your dexterity to smash it on him.
I'm going to use my last luck points. I'm only rolling this dice. tonight.
Yeah, that one is
This
not.
one's doing me well.
Jail.
22.
The flask of oil smashes up against the troll, and he turns to you and says,
Oh, you're a smart one, aren't ya?
Yes.
I land back on my feet after like smashing it and kicking off of him, and I'm like, yes, I've read books. And then I pull out my crossbow. Can I, from an improvised attack?
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a shot at the troll as well.
Okay.
Oh, well, all my luck points are gone, and I'm still rolling awful. That's going to be a 9.
That is a miss. Bounces off his flabby hide.
It seems my luck has run out.
Rudy, it is your turn.
Okay. Are either of the two guys in the water still prone?
They both stood up.
Okay. Then I get Houdini down here. Get over here, Houdini. Don't leave me hanging. And I start to again try to knock these guys out with the end of my
Okay.
axes. So I take the first one. 25 to hit.
Yep. That was both your first 2 attacks because you don't have advantage. Oh
With-
yeah. Oh right. Because
with one, yeah. It's Houdini. 5 damage
Against the wounded guy.
Yeah,
Are you knocking him out?
knocking him out.
So you knock him out, and he falls face first into the water and begins drowning.
Cool. I'm gonna have to help him.
Well, that's a together. We'll deal with that.
That's good. Good. Yep. I go to the other guy, and same dig.
Yeah, that'll be a hit for
Yeah.
sure.
19. 5 damage.
Still enough. The flat of the axe knocks him out. He
Okay.
falls underneath the water and begins drowning.
You were much quieter on that one.
How many rounds do they have until they drown?
Well, considering you knocked them unconscious and
They're
thus
breathing,
they're
not holding their breath.
they're not holding
Okay,
their
cool,
breath.
cool.
They're gonna die quite quick.
Bonus action. I'm gonna turn around. And are these guys within about 5 feet? I take a swipe at one of their ankles. For 20.
That's a hit.
And
Just rolling damage this time.
well, with my dual wielding, I guess. Yeah. So 9.
Okay.
But I'm gonna action surge.
Okay.
And take another 2 swipes. Actually, okay. Can I use my action surge to try to move these gentlemen into the boat?
You would need to shove them
Okay.
as well, which would not do any damage to them.
Oh, sorry. No, I meant the drowning guys because I'm getting a
To lift them
conscience
up and
here.
throw them
You
in the
know.
boat?
Yeah.
If you want to lift them up and throw them in the boat, yeah, you can action surge to save their lives.
And I'm cursing Wilhelm under my breath as I do so.
I didn't say waste an action surge. That never came out of my mouth.
And actually, while my movement, can I move under the dock?
Yeah, you could.
I
Yep.
sneak under the dock and like my head is like just slightly above the water, like I'm waiting, and you can see my glowing eyes.
All right. The troll, blasted horrifically by Wrath, the troll says, "Get down here, you scrawny little mohawk ugly mother!" And he reaches up to grab you and pull you down.
Woo!
Getting a 25 to hit, and we're going to make opposed athletics checks.
My strength is in athletics. Huh! I get a 2.
But
But he rolls with disadvantage, right? Not that it's really gonna
So
matter.
the disadvantage, I get a 2 on the die, but I have a +4, so I get a 6. So he grabs and drags you down, and pulls you down. You take 5 points of damage from the fall and land prone.
Hello.
And then he is just gonna swipe at you with advantage.
Uh-oh.
getting a 24 to hit with his claw.
Ow.
For a big old 10 damage. And then as he claws into you, he pulls your leg back and he bites into your calf. Getting a 9 to hit, actually.
Oh, thank God.
So he bites into your boot, and your foot wriggles out. So he's got my boot,
And he's just chewing on my leather. I just kick him away. Oh boy. Oh boy.
And his wounds start regenerating.
That's not great.
Okay. So, Wrath, it is your turn.
So while he's grabbing me and like manipulating me, the oil's still on him, right?
Yeah.
I want to use my mage hand to grab like a big chunk of firewood and just whack him on the head with it.
Sure.
And like a big flamey oily.
Cool. Make an attack roll using your spell attack bonus.
Woo! 15?
Cool. That hits him directly. So this flaming bit of wood lands. The wood itself doesn't do any damage because the mage hand is very anemic.
I'm trying to like light him on fire.
But it lights him on fire.
That's what I wanted.
Anything else? You probably want to stand up from pro.
That's probably a good call. Does the hex do anything?
Oh, did you make your concentration checks for hex?
No.
You gotta make 2.
Huh. I got a 16 and a 21.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, a 19.
Okay. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, I'm gonna stand up. And is he based with me? Did I get away with him?
Yeah, you need to be beside him and at the base of the building itself. That's where your mini should be.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up and I try to dodge any attack.
Okay.
I'm hoping that he doesn't swing at me now that he's on fire.
The other townsfolk, the first man presses his attack against Wilhelm, getting a 11 and a 20 to hit
The 20 hits.
for 4 points of damage.
This is a new round, right? I
Yeah,
can
it
use
is. Yep.
Uncanny Dodge again?
Yep.
All right.
The other two fire their crossbows, one at each of the two of you. Getting a critical hit against Wilhelm,
Oh,
and a natural 1 against Wrath.
What a divide. Are you okay?
no.
So the crossbow shot hits you, Wilhelm, just right in the rib cage, and you take a grand total of 20 points of piercing damage.
I go down.
Oh, Wilhelm!
Alrighty. Nice.
Nice. Is nice the word we're going to
Nice,
use?
yes.
Wilhelm takes the shot, and it's one shot too many. And
Wilhelm.
he kind of keels over, and
Wilhelm.
there's a pool of blood under Wilhelm.
Wilhelm.
The highest I get to hit below you, Rudy, is 16.
Nope.
So the two of them jump down, and they start fighting you in the waters, but they can't connect with any attacks.
I'm kind of like half under the water, like dodging out of the way, using the water's momentum. It's fierce.
Okay. So, top of the round, Wilhelm. Death save and throw, buddy.
This is where your dice cannot fail you.
Good point. I'll use this dice.
This is the moment.
1 failure. Okay. Rudy, you're up.
I'm gonna start taking swings at these guys, not knowing what's happening over at the thing. So I Houdini, get in their faces. Crit.
All right.
There it is.
Woo!
What's the minimum damage you can deal with a crit? I think you can't do less than 16 damage, eh?
12 plus.
Yeah.
12 plus a dice.
Roll the die.
20.
You lop this guy's. You're not trying to.
I'm still trying to knock them out.
Okay. You smash this guy in the side, and he slumps over the edge of the boat.
Yeah, I'm like using the blunt side
Yeah.
of like my, and it's so unsatisfying for me. I'm so unhappy. I'm like,
The other guy?
The other guy, 15
That's a hit.
for 8 damage.
Cool.
And then the third, for 16
A hit.
for 11 damage.
Take him out.
And I also like yeah, kind of like flip them over into the boat if I can.
Do you want to move?
The one guy's still in the water?
They're all down. There's none of them left.
No, just in terms of are they
One guy is
drowning?
still in the water. Yeah.
You know what? I'll leave him.
Okay.
I start to make my way and around the
Cool. Make an athletics check to clamber back up onto the pier.
14? Ah! Oh no!
As you clamber up onto the pier, you see the shot hit Wilhelm, right, almost in the heart, and he drops.
Wilhelm.
The troll sees Wrath, and sees Wilhelm on the ground. He laughs, right in the heart. Sees Rudy coming up, and he says, "All right, come on, little red, let's dance." Oh wait, he's still on fire.
Yeah, he's still on fire.
Oh, so he's freaking out. So he is, and he's covered in oil.
Yep.
So he's freaking out. He's on fire. He takes 7 points of fire damage. And he goes, "Aah! Aah!" And he's gonna dash into the water.
Go for it, Joel.
Trampling
Go for
over
it.
Wilhelm's unconscious body as he does so. Wilhelm is not stomped on as he does so. And he throws himself into the water and lands prone. Wrath, it is your turn.
I run over to Wilhelm, and I'm gonna use my celestial healing power, and I'm gonna grab Wilhelm and heal him for 5 health.
Yay!
Yay! That's so much healing.
I cough up some blood and I go, I think I'm dying, Raph.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, you dead. And then
Is that an action to do that?
yeah, that's my
That's so lackluster.
Do it.
yeah, I did that. That's what I did.
Heal him.
Raph, tell Rudy, stop chopping people's heads off. Ugh,
And,
Okay.
and you hear me from the side like, I didn't chop no one's head off, not yet.
I'm proud of you.
Okay.
She's doing so good.
The remaining men, they are going to seeing Wrath lay on hands onto Wilhelm. The one man comes up and he goes to ask you a question.
Oh no! I don't answer.
Getting a 12 and a 20 to hit.
20 hits.
That'll be 6 points of damage on you, Wrath. One of the men with the crossbow is going to keep shooting at you. The other man's going to train his crossbow against Rudy. Rudy, I get a 10 to hit.
Nope.
And I get a natural 1 against, lucky turn of events.
The swing. The
And
swing.
I thought my luck had ran out.
We're in a terrible place right now. I'm just holding my friend, looking at these oncoming attackers, and I'm just like, heal.
Wilhelm, it's your turn. You are alive.
I
Somehow.
clamber to my feet and I'm gonna just run right at this guy with the axe and I'm gonna stab him.
Oh, getting up and you're immediately from awake from a coma. You get up, you're like, ugh.
Well,
ready.
I open my eyes and I'm like talking to you and I look and a guy just like swings at you with an axe.
And he hits me.
So I stand up and just stab forward
Such-
into him. Like basically you're still holding me and I kind of like grab you and
Yeah.
Oh,
Such
Go
a
for
hero.
so brave.
21.
That's a hit.
I'm going to use sneak attack. $18 damage.
You run him through.
Yeah, I kill him. I guess in this moment, it was him or me.
And you look over and I'm like,
And I
She gives the biggest, like, what?
I look over at you and there's like blood coming out of all of me, and I just look and I'm just like,
You can still fire your cross. He looks towards the crossbow.
I look over at you and then I pull out my crossbow and just turn to the next guy.
wow, playing that game, are we?
25.
That's a hit.
Oh man.
You hit the guy that shot you.
Yeah. 6 damage to him.
He goes, ow.
And then
funny.
I'm going to kind of clamber. Is there any? I clamber over to this stump and try to like use it as
Cover?
cover.
Okay. Rudy, it's your turn.
All right, I see this troll come in the water, and I breathe in and I second wind as my bonus action. Let me just for 12 hit points back, feeling rejuvenated to run right into battle. I jump off the dock and I
Into the water again.
You now have the green light from Wilhelm to go killing again.
and he's prone, right?
Yeah.
So advantage.
Just to kill one guy isn't a green light. It's
Green light.
He's a monster. I had the green light anyways.
in that moment I felt like I was gonna die. I killed a guy.
16?
That's a hit.
Woo!
That's so funny. So
7
funny.
damage. I get advantage on all attacks because
Yeah.
you're prone? Yep. Okay, and second attack.
Ooh.
15 to hit.
That's a hit.
6 damage.
Nice, racking it up.
That's And I'm just like,
Did you make all 3 of your attacks?
I used second wind for,
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
My bonus because I didn't want to take on a troll without.
Breathe it in, take a deep breath, dive off the pier, axes over your head, just chop into the prone troll in the water. But with the fire now put out, you can see that his wounds are going to start stitching themselves back together as he gets himself back up from prone, and he says,
Fresh delivery.
and he fights back.
Yeah.
Makes 2 claw attacks, getting a natural. I have a bunch of ones tonight. 25 to hit with the claw.
Okay.
And a 15 on the bite, so only 1 hit, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just the claw for 10 points of slashing damage as he stands up and swipes across the kind of batting you in the face. And he does regenerate because he's put out the fire.
Go now.
Cool. Wrath, you're up.
There's still 2 of these dudes, right? Running around by the shooting arrows at us and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some shots at them, sending Bruce towards one.
Okay.
They don't have hex on them, but the first one I get a 23
That's a hit.
for 11 damage.
This was the one that crit Wilhelm. The Eldritch Blast goes forth, and the beam collapses and caves in his chest cavity, and he dies.
Guess I'm the only one keeping people alive in this particular
over there, the one
situation.
standing on the
Nothing
rock.
will survive.
This one here?
The other one.
This one here.
And then I'm gonna shoot at the other one. Oh, and I get and the beam goes wide and like hits a tree where the
And you hear
I kill him.
it was there all along.
I told you.
Anything else, Wrath?
I'm gonna make my way towards Wilhelm,
Okay.
and I want to be like the target.
Cool. Because he's going to take a shot back at you.
Yeah.
Getting an 8 to hit.
Miss. Thankfully.
Wilhelm, you're up, buddy.
Well, Yeah, I'm gonna drink. I'm rifling around in my bag, and I pull out a potion of greater healing, and I'm going to just slam that bad
You guys
boy.
should also still have the Keogotton's ointment.
We do. Yeah, well, Wrath has it.
Greater healing is 20?
Yep. Anything else?
Yes. With that, I feel better, and I'm going to use my cunning action to dash and get over here to face the troll with Rudy.
Welcome back to the party.
We have unfinished
How's
business.
your heart?
Oh, broken.
All right. Rudy, you're up.
All right. I call Houdini and I say, distract him while I burn him to a crisp. And I use Firebolt on him.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 to hit.
That's a hit.
7 points of fire damage.
Nice,
Right.
Rudy.
On
And
the board.
a bonus action to you kind of see me like move around, and all of a sudden my face shifts into a wolf-like appearance, and I gain back 7 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Yay!
Nice.
Have I ever seen you shift?
Once. But this is the first time you've seen it up close.
Ah!
I'm just like, ah!
Alrighty.
Who
The
do I
troll. He reaches out,
The troll.
and it's like he's going to try to reach out and slam the two of you into each other and then headbutt you both at the same time.
Oh.
So he makes a claw attack against each of you. But the two claws go completely wide as
I step back.
you step back, Rudy ducks, and there's a clapping of his hands that meet in the middle with a wet slap, and then he turns around and he headbutts Rudy, getting a 21 to hit.
I use shield.
Alrighty. Ooh! And he just... There's like that magical force that blocks the hit. Okay. Wrath, you're up.
I'm going to take another shot at dude by me and Wilhelm. With Bruce's help, I get a 18
It's a hit.
for 15 damage. Oh, that's
That
a good
takes
one.
him down.
And then I turn my attention to the big bad troll. I'm going to take my second shot at him with my Eldritch Blast. And I go, we must kill it, Bruce. And I get a 20 to hit for, only... Oh, gosh. 7 damage.
Wow, with hex and everything? 2 1s on the dice, eh? Wow.
Wow, wow.
Womp womp. Okay.
I hit his elbow.
All of the townsfolk are either dead, as is the case for 4 of them, or actually 5, because one's drowning.
One drowned.
The other that kind of slumped on the
did
side
my
of the
best.
boat, he falls into the water and starts drowning.
What?
But this fight is brewing in the water, and we go to the top with Wilhelm.
As his hands clap together, I'm going to jump onto his hands and then leap up onto his head. So I'm standing on top of him, and I'm going to take my rapier and try to drive it into the back of his neck.
Nice.
In that big deformed spot
Yeah.
full of delirium. His
Yeah,
delirium
right
sac.
into his delirium sac. That's what we're gonna call it. I get a 17.
It's a hit.
$20 damage.
Wow, nice shot.
Well
that
done.
leaves him bloodied.
And then I leap back off, landing next to Rudy, and I'm going to fire my crossbow at him. Getting a 12.
A miss.
It bounces off his flesh,
And then you step away.
and I twirl back gracefully.
Rudy, we're over to you.
So Houdini, I
Twirling.
command Houdini. I'm like, Houdini, pull his hair, and he starts like pulling at his hair. And then I
Rips out in thick gobs.
firebolting him
Nice.
again for 20.
A hit.
For 10 fire damage. And then as a bonus action, because I'm shifted, I use my elongated fangs to bite into his flesh.
Yeah, you bite
Getting
him
right
back,
on
Rudy.
my-
He has my boot.
Here's your boot?
Oh,
has my boot.
11.
I think he swallowed it.
I'm afraid. You go to bite into him, and you just bite into this thick bit of flabby flesh. And you taste the disgusting body sweat.
Yum.
Yeah, it's gross. He's gonna lay into you. He's like,
Get off of me! I'm the one that does the biting.
slaps into you, getting a 17 and a 26 to hit,
I'm going to shield at least one of those.
and bites you as well. The bite does not go through. The big wallop smashes you for 15 points of damage.
Nice job, Rudy.
Ah! I'm still going.
Alrighty, Wrath, you are up.
I really want to steady myself this time. I get Bruce to run over, and Bruce kind of like starts to work his way up his leg and start to kind of wrap around his arm, and I take another shot.
So many whittling creatures.
Yeah. And I go, Bruce, please guide this. And I crit. That's what I was waiting for. Thank you, Bruce. You have done well. How does the crit work with Hex and...
So it's roll the dice and add, because it's D10 plus D6, so that's 16. So it's 21 damage plus whatever you roll on the dice.
And do I roll another D6 as well?
Yeah, you roll D6 and a D10 and add 21.
I get a 14 to that.
So that's 35 points of damage.
There we go.
There is an eruption of magical force that collides with the troll and implodes the front part of its chest and face, exposing its innards. This distorted and warped, massive, purplish brain, which suddenly these claw-like limbs pull their way out of the skull and wrench forward, and this massive bloated brain with 4 dog-like limbs coming out of the base of its brainstem launches its way out of the troll's face and lands on the bank. And there's kind of this whinnying sound, like a that it makes, and you feel this wave of distorting energy come out from it, and it takes its turn. And as the wave of energy comes around, this pulse of purplish magical force resonates towards you, Rudy, and I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Which I have disadvantage.
It's a saving throw, so you don't have disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sweet. 14.
All right, you succeed on your saving throw as you feel this force almost trying to. It's almost like it's trying to pull your mind out of your body.
Ugh. Rude.
I want to use my bonus action
Okay.
to move the Hex onto it.
Okay.
As the troll is like falling apart, I'm like, oh, it's getting away. The troll's still running, and I want to make its saving throw, its ability check. I mean, dexterity, and I'm gonna take a shot at it
Okay.
with my Eldritch Blast, my second one, as it's all happening so fast. 22 to hit
It's a hit.
for 13 damage.
Yes, that deals 13 points of damage to this horrible thing.
And and that's my turn.
Yeah. And I should specify for all of you out there that are looking how to use this creature, you have it roll initiative, and you have it ready in action to use Devour Intellect the moment its host dies. That's how you can do what I just did. Because I know you are all like, how did it get its turn right away? That's how.
Very scary.
Yeah. Okay. So, with that, although probably it's a bit of a fun thing. Anyways, it blows itself out, and that's the end of Wrath's turn. Wilhelm, you're up.
Seeing the brain crawl its way out and then start, like, I don't know, doing something weird, looking at Rudy.
Super
I
weird.
take the moment, I'm like, kill it! Kill it! And I run up.
Smash it with your boot.
I can't stand. I run up and I just start stabbing it as many times as I can, which is once, but
Sometimes that's all it's...
you know, for flavor text, I'm stabbing it a lot. I'm scared. I don't like it. Damn it. 11.
Not a hit.
I miss. I'm like, and I don't even hit it. And then I step back again, and I do not like this thing. It's throwing me off my game. I've never seen a brain walk, and I'm going to try to shoot it with a crossbow.
Cool.
Even worse, I turn and I'm like, all right, you guys got this.
It's so...
And I jump behind this stump, and I'm like peering out.
Here, put that on the ground.
Oh,
You
no.
have it.
Oh, the brain.
Forgot that.
Yes, Wilhelm is not afraid. Anyway, somebody else's
Rudy,
turn.
it's your turn.
Mm-hmm. And me and Houdini look at him and say, we got this. And we wail on it. Wail on it with axes. 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
Woo-hoo. 9 damage.
Is your axe considered magical? No.
They're not magical
Okay.
weapons, but they are
Okay.
connected to me through magic.
Okay.
I hit it again.
Yep.
For a hit.
You smash the brain to bits, and eventually the psychic disturbance ends.
And I smoosh it with,
You just
and I
keep hitting
smoosh it with my boot afterwards. I'm like, meh, meh, meh.
Wilhelm runs up beside you after it looks like it's very clearly dead and starts squishing it with his boot too, and he's like, yes, kill it! Kill it! Ha! Ha ha!
We're all about killing now, aren't you, Wilhelm?
No.
Well, those gentlemen over there would say otherwise.
He was going to kill... He did almost kill me. I was dying.
Well, in any case, that's where we got to take our break. And we are back from our break.
A big thank you to Tabletop Audio. As always, they provide our ambient music and curated fantastic intro music for our intro for Shadows of Drakkenheim. So check them out. It's all free. tabletopaudio.com.
Of course, don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find all your favorite Dungeon Dudes merch, including new t-shirts like the Dusk Wardens and Way Bigger Than Ducks, and of course, all your old favorites. Check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
If you're enjoying the stream and you want to help support our work, check us out on Patreon. You can find out how by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. We also have a phenomenal Discord community exclusive for our patrons. So you can join us on Discord and chat with us about all the nerdy things in the world. We have some behind-the-screens chats with Monty about Drakkenheim. You can chat with us about really anything that you want. So join us on Discord if you're a patron.
With that, let us return to the shadows. Our heroes have slain a vicious troll, one that was a host for some sort of brain-shaped parasite. The gigantic, bloated brain now bashed and dashed against the banks of the lake, still twitching in places, pulsing with this ichor and oozing blood, completely unlike the physiology of the troll itself. The troll, the front of it floating, somewhat sinking now into the swamp. It's the burned portion of it from the the magical flames preventing it from regeneration and causing it to expire. A few of the men survive. The one that Wilhelm, that you barged in on him earlier, knocked him out, pushed him through the door, and the two that Rudy dumped into the boat, although the other two have drowned. Oops. So, don't feel bad. 3 out of 8 ain't bad.
We're definitely improving the odds.
That's a massive improvement from last time when it was only 1.
I tried for the extra, but he fell out of the boat. It's not my fault.
Yeah, that's his fault.
The cottage here has enough bunks that the 8 men that were here could hot bunk, with a nest for the troll nearby. But what you can now see that you have control of this area is that behind one of the large trees and several rocks, there is a small entrance to a cave in the escarpment along the edges here. And there are several thick tracks leading into the caves. There is no basement to the shack that is here, however.
As I wring out blood from my cloak.
And then there's also the barge, the massive barge-like boat, which is pointed towards the flow of the river. All the other rivers kind of enter into here. There's smaller streams, and you can actually, like, just from looking at this whole thing, the barge itself would probably go downriver, because the other streams that drain into this lake are too small for it. But the exit, the only place that you could go with this barge would be across the lake or down the river that's draining it.
Raph, you went to school for magic, right?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a troll whose brain... Have you ever seen this before?
I have not.
Well, that's concerning.
Have I? Have I come across it? Have I read about it? I don't think Wrath has.
Bruce quips, truly the creature was out of his mind.
Haha, Bruce. You are witty.
We're having a conversation.
Pardon?
He does this all the time. We're talking, and then he starts talking to his cat, and...
I think it is best that
Gather the brains.
Yes, we will use them.
Is
Have
that
them
a
with
yes?
dinner tonight.
You have heard of him.
You may nibble on the brains, Bruce, but most of it must be sent back to the academy for further study.
I mean, all right.
This is acceptable.
I'm like looking at the cat, and the cat, like, I don't hear it talk, right? Like, the cat's just...
Yes, Bruce.
The cat just meows. It's licking its paw.
So yes, you have seen this before.
No. But we must send it back to the academy for more research. It could be the missing link behind the mind control, as we have so namely dubbed it.
Wrath, I want to give you a thank you. You
Why?
saved my life back there. I didn't know if you would.
Oh. Yes, that's all good. I hope you can return the favor.
Well, I hope I don't have to, but...
Thanks for stabbing that man who hit me with an axe. It was quite inconvenient.
I can imagine so. There was a lot of adrenaline in that moment, and thank you.
Thank you, Rudy, for not murdering all the townsfolk. You're welcome.
Rudy, you did quite a spectacular job.
You did an okay job.
Well, at least I didn't run away from no brain.
You yelled, "I have fire," and then proceeded to not use the fire until the troll ran to you. So I see how it is.
I was taking on 4 men, Wilhelm.
Comrades,
Fair enough.
there is much to do. We must tend to our wounds. We must deal with this battlefield. There is a cave, there is a house, and we must find out the next location for our prisoners.
How about y'all bring in these 3? Make sure they're tied up in the house. I'll go grab
Donovan.
Donovan. That's it.
And we'll just get all of the captives here in this house.
Exactly. And we can plan our next. Probably need to take a little bit of a rest, but don't know how long we want to wait until we take some action.
I think maybe an hour to tend to our wounds or so.
Let's tie them up first.
So we
Tie everyone up.
grab
gather
them.
We
them up.
gather the bodies, we tie up the living,
Okay.
we throw the dead somewhere
In the river.
in the river.
Let the fish have them.
Checking them. I want to check everyone, especially the troll leader.
The troll, aside from the troll's banjo and rocking chair, no other possessions.
I sit in the rocking chair, I pull out my pipe, I light it, and I pick up the banjo, and I start to strum.
It's a troll-sized banjo.
Yeah, I difficultly try to strum.
The other men have their weapons and gear, which are in reasonably good quality. Though none of them carry any personal effects or other belongings. Their accommodations here are very Spartan. Hot bunking, like they would need a hot bunk here, with half of them sleeping at one time and the other half being awake, because there's not enough beds for everybody. There's a few supplies and some food that have been kept around in here. It seems like they were fishing to feed themselves off the lake. But in terms of other supplies, though, the only things that you find are several sets of manacles and keys for these manacles that are in the room itself. You also do locate there is a small strongbox that contains inside it a bag of 149 gold pieces and 2 potions of healing.
Do you guys mind if I take one of the potions of healing, seeing as I had to use one?
Yep. Sounds good.
Are they just regular potions of healing?
Mhm.
I only have 2 right now.
You take one.
Oh, you know what? Take both of them.
Oh,
I have 4.
Yeah, I have 14.
thanks, friends.
Bag of gold, should we divvy it up, or should we...
Yeah, just put it in the pile.
Split it 3 ways.
you just hang on to it. We'll borrow from you if we need it.
All right.
You can be our,
Banker.
yeah.
I have a suggestion.
Don't be casting any spells on me, Raph.
No, not this Wilhelm. We could interrogate one of the prisoners. If we find the location of the next drop point, especially Donovan, we could shackle the remaining survivors, and in torn clothing we could almost disguise them as other prisoners.
I was thinking something very similar, so I like where your head is at.
Do you think, though, if those lizard folk come back, they're not going to recognize men they've already brought in?
I'm not sure, but I don't want to stick around to stay here and find out if they do come back.
All right.
What do you guys think of the cave outside?
We'll definitely need to explore the cave.
Explore?
Do we definitely need to?
I think we can block it.
I could it may be the location of the troll, but as the leader, he may have other information as to where these prisoners go. If we are unsuccessful, then Donovan might be the next best thing. That being said, we could use Bruce as a sort of scout.
And what happens if the cave is actually the way to where we need to go?
From here, I'm guessing it's either the cave or the boat.
Yes, we might need to just make sure.
Let's wake up Donovan.
I'm going to use some logic here and say that the cave is probably not the way they went, because that boat looked certainly big enough and equipped for a journey consisting of the group that we were escorting. So, I think maybe the boat was being used to traffic the prisoners further. However, the cave still might be of interest, and we should check it out.
The cave could contain other prisoners. Maybe it's a holding cell.
Should we start by manacling these prisoners of ours and tending to our wounds?
Yes.
Can we take a short rest?
Roll a d6.
One.
4.
1.
Okay.
Do we get our short
Do we
rest?
get our short rest?
Where are you taking your short rest?
In the house.
Okay. All of you can roll perception checks.
Nine.
16.
7.
Okay. As you are tending to your wounds and resting, Wilhelm, you spot, after a few moments, lurking out of the cave, you see one of them, one of the lizard folk, watching from the shadows of the cave. It looks around, regards the situation, and scuttles back into the cave. It's about... Your rest isn't finished yet. It's about 30 minutes into your rest.
All right. I am going to... I imagine I'm like sitting by the window just watching this creature lurk out. It doesn't spot me or look at us. Does it look at... Like, we've moved all the
It
bodies.
sees you.
Oh, it sees me?
Yeah.
And then it scuttles back in?
Yeah.
Wrath, Rudy,
Yes.
I've just observed one of our lizard friends. Seems the cave might be where they have been lurking this whole time. It just spotted me, but then it scurried back in. I will keep an eye on the cave, but be ready as you tend to your wounds that there might be more of them in there.
Makes sense. How many, though?
Well, there's no way to tell. One of them just popped out and observed me sitting by the window. I really need to stop taking my breaks by windows when we're in danger. I just like the scenery out here. It's not every day you get to hang out in a swamp, you know? I pull out my boot and I empty the water.
If it's down there, we must deal with them before we leave.
I agree.
I say we wake Donovan up and find out what way we need to go.
Yes, Rudy. Your theory is correct. They do seem to hate the sunlight.
Yes.
Is there anything that we can do to persuade Donovan, or should we just wake up and tell him that he has to show us the way?
Wrath, do you have any magic that could mold his mind?
Yes. It might be worth trying to deceive him again.
Do you plan to become the constable?
Isn't he tied up?
Currently.
As you debate, there's suddenly a thud underneath the floorboards.
I now have a new theory.
There's a pound and a crash and a crack as one of the boards breaks up and a lizard-like hand reaches up from the floorboards, grasping towards Wilhelm. And the boards start pushing themselves. There's another set of hands, and they're pushing up at the boards to break them up.
Well, clear and present.
Let's do it.
Roll for initiative.
Did we get our rest?
No.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Rudy, what you got?
14.
Oh. Wrath?
4.
Wilhelm?
20.
Okay. Wilhelm, as you begin to act, the smell of these creatures floods up from underneath the floorboards. Make a Constitution saving throw.
12.
12. You stifle back the momentary urge to retch as one of the creatures pushes its way through the floorboards and goes
and I stab him in the throat as he does so. And I crit. And that's going to be a sneak attack.
There it is.
So that's going to be 18, 26.
It's 24 plus your dexterity mod plus 4d6. Oh, with your rapier? No, it's 26,
plus my dexterity mod.
which is so that's 30 plus 3d6 plus 1d8. Yep.
So good.
Oh my god. 30.
42 damage. So as he pries open the floor and screams, I look down and just stab him through the roof of the mouth.
He dies and gets stuck in the hole. His corpse is just jammed in the hole, like arm halfway up, head there, just slumped over.
All right.
We have company.
Comrades, I think we should take our break outside.
I grab Donovan and I start dragging him out, even though he's still unconscious.
Wait, are we going to leave all the other prisoners in there?
I mean, it's up to you. I'm going to carry this one that we need.
Um,
Fine, I'll grab two. I grab two.
I grab the third.
Okay. We're in initiative order.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Wilhelm, you've stabbed the first one. It seems like there's you can hear the sounds of two others beginning to pull away the dead body and clamber up toward the open floorboards. What are you going to do with the rest of your turn? You got your bonus action and your movement still.
I am going to move. I guess we're inside the house.
Yeah.
I'm going to move to the other side of the room, away from where they were crashing on the floorboards. So, are they like coming up?
Yeah, like from the center of the room, basically.
So I move into a corner and I actually get up on some of the items on the floor, so that I am on a raised platform.
Where the trapdoor is on there, that's where they're coming from. We'll say
Okay, so then I'm going to climb up onto a bunk bed,
onto the bunk bed. Okay,
and I have my crossbow aimed
Nice.
at the floorboards that they're breaking through.
okay. The first one pulls away the body, and the other tries to burst its way through the hole. It clambers up and through and towards Wrath.
Hello.
Oh.
Getting a 15 with two of its claw attacks.
Perfect. It's a hit.
Wrath, you take a total of
Haphazardly, just throw me
13
right in.
points of damage.
Right in there. Yep. Oh yeah, I feel it.
I thought he was coming out of the middle, so I put you off to the side. It didn't work out. He switched it on me.
The other one pulls the body away, but that's its action, and it clambers up as well and into the room and beside Wrath.
Sorry, man.
Rudy, it is your turn.
All right.
Make a Constitution saving throw against the stench.
Ooh.
8.
You throw up. So you throw up, and you are poisoned. Until the
You're exhausted and poisoned.
yeah.
Rudy, the swamp
Tired,
is not your
vomiting.
favorite place.
This is it's not good. Not good. Okay. And I say, get in there, Houdini, which gives me not disadvantage on the one.
And you're running in?
Yeah.
Go for it.
15 to hit.
That is still a hit.
Yay! 8 damage. And then I take another swing. Same guy. Natural 1. I throw up
You
on him.
throw
a
up on
little.
him.
My third shot.
You're throwing up all that troll you were chewing on earlier.
I think it's gonna do acid damage, but it does nothing.
Wrath, it's your turn. Make that Constitution saving throw, buddy.
Oh, perfect. Oh boy. I got a 4.
you see Rudy vomiting.
I can't help it. He's clawing me.
Smells like a gag.
Okay.
And Wilhelm's just standing up on the bed, being like, "I'm staying up here. I'm not coming down."
I'm gonna grab Rudy, and I'm like, and I'm gonna thunder step out of there.
Okay, so that's gonna hit Wilhelm.
Don't worry about me.
I mean, okay, then I know. It probably would hit him. Boo.
Not to mention all the people that we just shackled up in here.
Donovan!
I mean, I'm pretty much gonna die in a second.
You gotta get out of here.
You can use your action to
I'm
disengage.
gonna, I think I'm just gonna disengage, and then I'm gonna run out the door vomiting. And I burst out of the house, and I'm just gonna throw up all into the campfire and all over the camp and all
Why
over
into the fire? It's going to smell awful.
Oh, worse than it does.
I mean, everything
I just
smells
burst
awful.
out, and I'm just throwing up everywhere, and it's awful.
All right, Wilhelm, it is your turn.
Because I passed the con save, am I good?
You don't have to make it anymore yet.
I leap off of the bed to the spot that Wrath was standing in.
You are now standing in this puke.
I slip a little on the puke, and then I drive my blade in towards the one that Rudy had hit. I slip on the puke, and I fumble. And then I twirl back to the middle of the room and unleash a crossbow bolt. Getting a 12.
That is a miss.
And
Deflects off at Scaly Eye.
and then I run out the door, and
Oh, your
Lena-
boots are wet again.
I have vomit on my boots.
And I'm like, guys, wait up.
Okay. Where are the prisoners?
Probably.
They were just thrown in there. Yeah.
I feel like we had shackled
Away from the
them.
door. Away from the doors. Somewhere in the middle of the room.
Okay.
They're like shackled to the bed posts.
Okay. Sounds good. One of the Trogs races towards Rudy and attacks her, getting a 23 and a 10 to hit
One of them hits.
for 7 points of slashing damage. And the other Trog rips off the head of one of the prisoners and eats it.
Aren't they both based with Rudy?
It moves over to her, yeah.
Over to the prisoner?
Yeah.
So then Rudy gets an opportunity attack.
Yes.
Yes.
Rudy?
Oh, I'm disadvantaged right now. 13.
That is actually a hit.
Oh!
Oh, great. Yeah, woo.
Oh, man.
8 damage.
Okay.
But
Well-
it still rips off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This prisoner has been eaten.
No! That's our ticket out of here! Stop!
Rudy, it is your turn.
If I disengage, can I pick up someone on my way out or no?
A whole person? No.
Half a person, yes.
Perfect, because we have one that you can actually grab. He's missing that annoying
you need
part
your
of the
action.
Just kill them.
Just kill them. They might kill me. Okay, well,
I
I
mean, do whatever. I don't know.
Houdini.
This is horrible.
Houdini, help me out. I'd still take a gash at one of the guys hitting. For
Oh, before you, that's your roll. One of your rolls for the attack. Roll against the stench.
oh, okay.
Okay, you continue to throw up. So that attack is. So do you want to still make that attack?
With Houdini, that's what I was assuming
Okay,
I was still
yeah.
poisoned.
So that does hit.
Oh, baby.
8 damage.
Okay.
And second attack, disadvantage. Oh, disadvantage, and I miss that on a crit. it. But I hit nonetheless with 22.
Nice.
Yeah. 9 damage. And the third. 13.
That
No,
does
12.
hit.
12.
12 doesn't.
Yeah.
Nice
Nope.
try, Rudy.
I missed.
Wailing on it with your axes.
While throwing
Raph,
up.
you are out of the room, so you don't have to make a save against the smell.
And I want to run around to the window and peek in.
Okay.
Can I see everything?
Yep.
I'm gonna shoot at the one bugging Rudy.
Okay.
Take it out.
You take a shot. I don't know where Bruce is. He's off on his own. A 25 to hit.
Hit.
Can I move the hex onto him?
Yes.
Okay. And then I do. Oh my god, 8 damage.
Okay.
We're picking away.
I'm taking a second shot at him, and I'm still throwing up. 18 to hit for 13 damage.
What happens to him?
So the one that Rudy's hitting in, I just blow off the back portion of his leg, and he just collapses into the hole again. And I'm still coughing and throwing up, even at the windowsill.
Wilhelm.
I gather myself and I run back into the room, charging and screaming a battle cry. "Ah!" And I drive my blade into the beast. Getting a 15? Yes, that hits.
A hit.
Hooray. Because nobody else is based with him, I can use sneak attack.
Save Jonathan.
Yeah, save Donovan.
We're really worried about saving Donovan.
Well, he probably knows the most. Maybe.
Doing 17 damage.
Cool.
And then I kind of parry around him and move back and then fire my crossbow. Also getting a 15.
Ooh.
7 more damage.
Nice. Anything else, Wilhelm?
No, that will be it. I stand in the corner, blade ready.
Reeling from his wounds, he turns and lets a gouging slash into Rudy, getting a 17 to hit.
Shield.
And another for a 22 to hit.
Nope. With shield, no.
Whoa.
Nice shield.
I'm just like...
Wait. That doesn't make sense.
22.
Your AC becomes 22 with shield.
Yeah.
But I rolled a 22.
Oh, that
So
you
I
hit. Yes, okay, you hit that one.
You take 10 points of damage.
Death.
No, Rudy!
Death.
Death.
Rudy!
All right. Rudy, that's a death saving throw for you. It's your turn.
Stand up.
Crit.
Oh my god! She can't be killed!
She breathes in.
We watch it claw into Rudy and she goes down and it stands up and it's like... and
I don't think she even falters. It's like you see her eyes roll back in her head for a moment as it claws into her, and then she just, her neck goes limp, and then she just snaps back forward again before she even hits the ground.
I've never done that before.
That was so cool.
you're at, what, 1 hit point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
This is fine.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
Rudy the Unkillable.
Wrath, it is your turn.
I'm gonna just start taking shots at this thing. I turn my hex towards it. I get a 26 to hit for 15 damage.
That destroys it.
And as Rudy stands up and just glares at it, it's like head just caves in.
And I'm just like, I'm sure I did that while I was
Unconscious.
unconscious.
You saw the other side, Rudy. We've all seen the other side a lot.
Of all of us.
I mean, I guess I see it all the time. Bruce shows me the light. It burns.
I slowly shove the bodies back into the hole to get rid of the smell.
Can we?
I want to listen against. No, I want to go outside, and I'm going to stay outside, and I'm going to start to cast a tiny hut
Wait. Should we do tiny hut on top of the hole so that way nobody can come up it?
I just don't want to be in that room anymore.
Okay, cool. With vomit everywhere.
I go and sit in the tiny hut.
Do we take Donovan with us just in case?
Donovan and the other two. We'll just
No,
jam
the
them all
other
in.
one.
The other one now. No, technically there's
No, there's two others.
Oh.
two more. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's three in total. We lost one other guy. Not the
I
greatest.
mean, it would have been more beneficial if we had lost two. It would have been a much lighter load.
We all have one person to handle now.
Well,
Throw them all in the tiny hut.
now can we rest?
Just sit down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can take your rest.
What happened?
Take all of my
It's a bad rest. It's because you're poisoned and sick and not doing well.
Oh yeah, am I still poisoned?
Is she still poisoned?
No longer. Now that you don't have to smell them.
Good. I'm still exhausted though. Still exhausted. I'm gonna take a healing potion.
Aren't we all?
Yep. So you all
Not
take your
actually.
rest, recuperate your hit points, spend some of those hit dice. There's some close calls there.
Well, that takes care of the cave. We can probably go in there now with less fear of disruption.
Mm-hmm.
Although no, I'm gonna take 2 healing potions. 2 healing potions and all my dice, and that gets me out.
Are you doing all right?
No.
We should investigate the cave.
Do you want to go through the cave entrance or through the hole in the floor?
Ooh, good question.
Is the stench still quite palpable?
Yeah, it's kind of worse because they're dead.
Oh.
And I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
Maybe,
They did.
maybe, a quick scout with Bruce.
Bruce heads into the cave and returns and says, "There are manacles. It is where they keep the prisoners. Small passage leading underneath underneath the house. Little else. Collect the sweat. Breathe it in deeply.
Yes, Bruce. I need some of this.
Also, I'd like to eat some of your puke."
Bruce, you may feast.
You say that, and I'm like, you're. I hated when cats do that. It's horrible.
Probably not healthy for him.
This is the way. And I'm gonna go through the hole. I'm gonna start to clamber through the hole and try to make my way down while Bruce eats up everyone's puke. He's really enjoying himself. He's really enjoying himself.
I just sit and observe.
I throw up again.
Bruce enjoys that.
Yeah. Bruce comes over and laps it up.
Well, so you go into the hole.
I'm gonna start to make my way into the hole.
Yeah, it looks like at one time there was a trapdoor that led to a rough cellar underneath just the foundations of the building. There's under the building itself. So basically, there's the stone foundations of the building, and then the wooden floorboards underneath, and there's kind of like a crawl space that leads down into the cave properly. And it looks like some of the floorboards could have been pulled up, but there's no proper trapdoor. The passageway down into the cavern, it is a small, rough, probably like a rough cave that is actually knee-high in water. And in the cave, on some rocky outcrops, are several chains and manacles that have been hammered into the cave walls themselves. There's bits of straw and clothing and cloth, and there's clear signs that people have been kept here. There's a lot. You can smell human waste in the water down here, as if people have been kept here for some time, but no one is down here now.
While he's exploring that, Rudy, do you want to help me load these prisoners onto the boat?
Are we going on the boat?
Well, rule number 6, there's always a trail to follow, and the trail seems to lead us to this boat. And my theory is, if we just let it off the dock and let it run its course, eventually we'll find a path to follow.
Or we could wake up Donovan and ask him.
I suppose we could do that as well. I'm not much for lying.
We could load everyone on the dock, and then we can have a conversation with Donovan.
I mean, why do I have to lie?
Well, are we going to try to... How do we convince Donovan to lead us there?
I have ways of convincing him.
I hope so, because if he is not right in the head, as some of the villagers are, I'm worried that... You remember when we stabbed all those innocent people, possibly innocent?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even flinch from the pain?
Oh, yes.
It leads me to believe that some more drastic interrogation means may not work. So what?
None of the people, you slaughtered all these people to a man, and none of them flinched or ran.
So if we're going to interrogate Donovan, we need to have leverage of some sort. Violence won't get him to talk or get him to lead the way.
I mean, do you think we can convince him that maybe we've already been changed?
There we go with the lying.
We could...
We're not really lying to anyone, per se.
I mean, I can just keep my mouth shut. Every time I lie, it sounds awful. I am a changed man.
Wrath, what do you think?
There may be something we can do if you allow me to work with him. I could maybe magically influence him to take us where we need to go.
Could do that?
Mm-hmm.
Good cop, bad cop? Or you alone?
My hope is that I could force him to take us there. Or at least reveal the secrets.
Well, the floor is yours, Raph.
So I'm gonna... I guess...
Do you want me to wake him up?
Wake up Donovan.
I flick him in the throat.
Okay. He looks around, gets his eyes moving rapidly, almost as if his eyes move so rapidly that you know when you peel back someone's eye when they're in REM, and the way the eye moves, as he comes to, his eyes regard the world like that. He looks at the cottage, back at the dock, at you, at the remains of the troll, the bodies piled up. Because you got him on the boat, correct?
Get him outside.
And he looks back at you and frowns.
Donovan, it is imperative we catch up with the prisoners. You need to tell me which way they went.
He looks at you. He looks at the boat. He looks back at you again. No. I don't know.
It is for him. The prisoners may have escaped.
I don't know who you are. You are not one of us.
I'm gonna, Donovan, and I'm gonna produce an ink and quill and say, write down where you would take the prisoners after this location, and then I'm gonna cast suggestion on him.
He gets a 5 on his wisdom saving throw. He writes down the words, scrawl out. He's very illegible kind of writing, but it scrawls out. Take the barge down the river. 3 days. On the third day, another river flows in. Passageways of the escarpment, take the boat into the cavern.
Are there any secret words or phrases we must be aware of?
That's outside the terms of your suggestion.
All right. Knock him out, Rudy.
Well, now the question is, do we still bring the prisoners with us, or do we leave them tied up in this cabin? It'll be... Well, with Donovan tied up, the constable gone, it might be a while before anybody comes and finds them. We should be well on our way by then.
But they're gonna cause some alarm potentially back at the, or...
It's midday now. There is a good chance that Schaffberg is already well aware that there's been an issue. There is many people missing in town. There is prisoners that have never made it back. They will be expecting them several days from now, but really, the people in town aren't looking for Donovan or these other prisoners for probably a good few days. They're already alerted to us. Whether they send people this way or not is irrelevant to the people in this cabin.
Now the question is, do we tie them up, or do we leave them loose?
No, we tie them up. And if we can solve the problem, on our way back, we untie them.
Are we going to head towards the river?
I mean, if you tie them up, they could die of exposure because it's gonna. If you go away 3 days, it's gonna be a week before you're back. And anyone coming from Schaffberg, it's going to take them a couple days to get here as well.
All right, I'm open for suggestions. Apparently,
we could take them with us.
It's just extra weight, and we're traversing the woods to an unknown location where we're going to meet a monster that we need to subdue. I don't want to worry about prisoners any more than I have to, but if that's the only choice, then...
Do we leave them untied then?
Well, I mean, you're taking a boat.
I suggest we keep the prisoners in the boat, remove any of their defining articles of clothing, put them in rags like the other prisoners, like they did to Rudy. We can potentially use that as a means to get close enough.
Very well.
So I want to back down to rags. No weapons, no equipment.
Blindfold them, gag them.
I'm also going to... How big is the brain?
It had filled the skull of the troll. The troll's head is a good 10 to 12 inches wide, so it was a big brain.
I want to wrap it and wrap it up and jam it in my backpack.
Okay. I mean, it's chopped up. It's kind of...
There's pieces?
There's the limbs coming off of it as
okay,
well.
I'm going to put as many of the big chunks in jars to try to preserve them.
Very good.
Taking jars.
Bruce says very good.
And I have some in my feed bag. There's some brain that goes towards the research, and others this is for you, Bruce.
Rudy and I are loading the prisoners on. We're tying them up, and we look over, and you're just scraping brain into jars, talking to Bruce.
This large barge, the large barge could certainly fit almost 24 people, all said, as well as supplies and provisions for the group. It's relatively easy. There's 4 large oars that are used for rowing it, as well as the keel, and just to kind of control the whole thing. It's easy enough for the 3 of you working together, with 2 of you on the oars and 1 of you on the keel. You can guide it down the river, and it moves at a good clip once you're moving along with the river, that you don't have to row. There's just a flow overall to it that you can kind of drive the boat forward. You can see how the oars would be necessary if you were going in the opposite direction, because then you'd have to row against the river itself. And while the river is not fast flowing, it's enough that going against the flow of the river, the current of the river, would require a fair amount of work from many people to do so. So the boat, you take the boat down the river.
How long did he say in the
3
note?
days.
3 days.
Can we take a long rest in the boat?
Yes, but But it's worth mentioning that there are points as you kind of take the boat, you notice that there are points where they've definitely landed. Like there's the remains of campsites along the banks of the river, where there's an old campfire and some logs, and in one place actually you come to a spot where they've left some iron rations in a sealed box as well along the way to supply themselves during the journey.
I guess, can we say that we also took the rations from the house?
Yeah.
Just to kind of keep the prisoners alive. Shall we make camp at or make our journey as quickly as possible?
I think a camp would be a good idea. I think Rudy looks a little worn down, and I mean, I'm still bleeding.
Yeah, so you finish your short rest, you load back up on the boat, and you row down till the end of the day and make camp.
I'm going to do the tiny hut, and then we're going to jam everyone in it.
The journey goes relatively smoothly over the next couple days. Once in a while, you suspect someone might be watching you from the woods, but they don't approach your camp. The river itself is not terribly wide. At its widest point, it is only about 50 feet in width, but it continues on for several miles each day, making a good clip. If you had to walk this distance, it would probably take twice as long. If you had to walk this distance with a group of prisoners, it would take weeks.
Oh.
So loading them onto the barge is certainly efficient.
Efficiency.
And we get a long rest in those few days?
Yep. After the third day of travel, late in the afternoon of the third day, the river begins to flow around another series of escarpments. Low, most of them not any higher than 30 or 50 feet, as the wetlands, the lower steps of the mountains kind of break up the wetlands in some respects. And the river is widening as you may be getting closer and closer to where it empties into the Duran River as well. Probably if you continued on this for another 3 or 4 days, you might hit the Duran River. At this point, you can see that the river, another tributary comes into the river at the escarpment here, and there is a small cave that the water flows into, where the escarpment is at its highest.
Well, looks like that's the path to wherever it is we're going.
We could leave the boat outside and make our way in.
Is the cave still like river?
Yeah.
We might want to take the boat.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The boat, this low cave is enough that you can reach your hands up and touch the top of the cave as the boat flows in through it. But it gradually raises a little bit before you can see torchlight after a brief moment of darkness.
We're here.
We should decide how we approach. They will be expecting Donovan and the others, a large assortment of prisoners. We may be able to get the jump on them.
I have an idea.
Please do tell.
You don't happen to still have that reed with you, do you?
Do I have the reach with me?
Roll a d6, and on a 5 or 6, you do.
2. Nope.
Well, there goes that plan.
Is there any reeds as we go by?
Yeah.
Pick a reed as we go by.
Yeah, you can pick a few reeds from outside.
Yes.
I say, if we want the element of surprise, there's no need to hide the prisoners. It could be a distraction. We get under the boat. We just sail it in. If somebody's there to receive the boat, they see a boat with 3 prisoners and they go, what is this? Where's everybody else? And then, surprise, water attack.
Wait, what about if Wrath, can you become constable again?
Yes.
Taking them here.
We go in the water and we surprise water attack whoever is there to receive the boat. You are the constable and you cause the distraction. Brilliant.
I'm just a constable. I'm just a simple constable.
That sounds like berries to me.
Well, we will have to see how this cunning plan works out next week.
Yeah!
We have the best plans.
Some
They
of them
always
work.
work out.
Some of them don't.
No, they always work.
Our
We're
plan
alive, aren't we?
That's the requirements for a working plan is that we survive.
Yes.
Then I guess
We're doing
Traveling
okay.
now far away from Shaftburg to this strange waterborne cave in the midst of these rocky marshlands. What will our heroes find in these yawning, watery depths? See you next week. We'll find out. As always, a massive thank you to our incredible cast, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, for playing.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for all of his support behind the scenes and chatting with all of you lovely people watching us tonight.
Oh.
Thank all of you for joining us. And also a very special thank you to our Dungeon Master, Monty Martin, for his incredible portrayal of a terrifying swamp.
A big shout out to Tabletop Audio for providing our ambient music and our intro music. Please check them out, tabletopaudio.com. It's all free and it's a great way to elevate your game.
Of course, don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find some of our new amazing t-shirts, like the Dusk Wardens and Way Bigger Than Ducks. Of course, all your old favorites there as well. bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
If you are enjoying our stream, please consider supporting our work on Patreon. Patreon helps us continue to make amazing content both here on Twitch and on YouTube and beyond. You can find out how you can support our work by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
We also have a phenomenal Discord community exclusive for our patrons. So if you do join us on Patreon, make sure to join us in Discord. You can chat with Monty, myself, and these two guys, as well as Kyle pops in there from time to time, the one and only Hans. So you can chat with all of us in Discord about all of the nerdy things that you want to talk about, all things Drakkenheim, all things D&D, and every other topic that you want. So join us on Discord.
Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything Dungeons and Dragons, including advice for dungeon masters and guides for players. So please check us out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time in the shadows of Drakkenheim.